They could never make me hate Will Smith. Ever since Bad Boys Ride or Die has come out, which is doing very well by the way, made 100 million in the first weekend off 100 million budget. But since it's come out, I've been seeing a few anti-Will Smith comments on social media in replies to news and replies to reviews about we need to boycott this, I would never watch another that. And of course there's always going to be trolls on the internet regardless, but all of that culminated in a clip that I saw recently with Stephen A. Smith. He went on a 4 to 5 minute rant about how he still finds it difficult to watch a Will Smith movie and explains why Will Smith still needs to sit down and talk to the black community about why he slapped Chris Rock before we as a community can go and watch his films again.
Chris Rock is damaged. In the day and age of mental illness, or traumatic incidences that affects one's mind and psyche and what have you, Chris Rock will never get over that. Ever. He has to sit down and talk to the black community. We need to hear that from you. I'm sorry. That's what I need to do before I look forward to seeing your movies again.
Will Smith is a twat.
Oh, I liked him.
Will Smith has been hiding the fact of who he really is, and it was exposed that night. That he's really an asshole.
First of all, shut up. Second of all, that was 2 years ago and he apologized for it already. And Chris Rock got a 20 million Netflix special off the back of it. You could slap me for 20 million. You could slap me for 10. And respectfully, it wasn't even like a great slap. You could slap me like that for 100k, bro. But most importantly, I can't personally judge Will Smith for what he did. If your wife, if my wife, if your partner was suffering from a disease, a condition that affects their appearance, and she's personally confided in you about how much it's affected her, she's cried about it, she's insecure about it, she's vulnerable about it, and then you go out in public and then someone who you have a personal relationship makes a joke at her expense about that very same thing. We can debate whether it was right or wrong, but no one can say how they would act in that scenario until they are in that scenario. So if someone disrespects your wife in that manner, again, I can't tell you how I would react in that situation, but they might get slapped. They might. It's just the way of the world. If you fuck around enough times, eventually you will find out. So save all of this fake outrage. Oh my god, how can you do such a thing? I just can't wrap my head around it. How will I, a person who has nothing to do with the situation, get over this? And it's not like he paid to go to a Chris Rock show, knows the material that he does, and then chose to get offended. It's completely different. And also, of course, comedians need the space to, tell their jokes, the platform to be controversial at times, but at the same moment, that's not a get out of jail free to say whatever you want. Like I saw a clip recently where a comedian made a joke about a baby and said, oh, when they grow up, they're gonna be sucking, and at some point later, the dad showed up and slapped up the comedian or punched him, I can't remember. And well, what is that comedy too? Well, these are just punches then. And he also said in the video, but what about Chris Rock? How will he get over this? What about his mental health? Was he worried about the mental health of Will Smith and his wife too? So in short, get a grip. Stephen A. Smith, sit your old ass down and do better. Will Smith doesn't owe anyone an apology. And like I said at the very beginning of the video,